Hey everyone, Daniel Snyder from Seeking Alpha. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video or join the webinar here live today. We are going through a new product launch here on Seeking Alpha. Maybe you've seen it already on the symbol pages, but it is the advanced charting feature. So before we dive in and go into all the functionality and really just showcase how awesome this tool has been, I mean, I've been using it pretty much daily now, but hopefully you find great insights with it as well. But before we do that, let me go ahead and get a quick legal disclaimer out of the way. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. Any views or opinions expressed in the webinar do not reflect those of Seeking Alpha as a whole. Any content and tools on the platform are offered for information purposes only. Seeking Alpha Portfolio is a tool for tracking news and analysis and does not constitute a brokerage account or enable any trading activity. Seeking Alpha does not take account of your objectives or your financial situation and does not offer any personalized investment advice. Seeking Alpha is not a licensed security dealer, broker, U.S. investment advisor, or investment bank. And with that out of the way, I will also add any opinions shared today on the technical analysis front are solely my own. They obviously do not reflect the company. But with that out of the way, thank you everyone for showing up. We have a couple hundred of you here. So good to see you here. So before we go ahead and dive into the platform, I would love, obviously here, because you probably look at technicals. So if you have a favorite indicator of choice, go ahead and drop it in the chat for me. We were going to throw some of these on the charts today and kind of use the functionality to kind of look how the candles and how the charts react. So if you have one that comes top of mind, throw it on in and we will try to throw it on our charts. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump over to Seeking Alpha. All right, I see a couple coming through. Anchored VWAP, Keltner channel. Yep, the cloud. All right, great. So the first thing I was going to do today is you're familiar with the homepage of Premium. And if you're not a Premium user, tons of functionality. We're just going through one little part today here on Seeking Alpha, the newest part. So I'd figure what better way to find a stock to start doing technical analysis on, but then rather use our own stock screeners. So the cool thing about the stock screeners, it's all based off of the quant system. If you're a user of Premium, you are fully aware. And we have all of these preset screens here that come with the subscription. So trending AI stocks, top dividend stocks, top growth stocks, top value stocks. We'll go ahead and click on top value today. Now, as we're looking at these that are ranked based on the quant rating, we're seeing, I don't know, CommScope Holding Company is number one. Company I'm not really familiar with. It's $5 a share, apparently. So let's go ahead and click on this and see what the quant might be seeing. Wall Street is a sell, Seeking Alpha analysts are a hold, and the quant is a strong buy on this stock. So, of course, if you're familiar with the 5-factor grades, that's how the quant system works. But the technical analysis front, let's go ahead and dive in and see what's going on with this $1 billion market cap company. Okay, so not the smallest of small. Definitely got a little bit of traction, so noticeable there. But all I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this advanced button right here that you see my mouse hovering over. And that will pull up the new advanced charting feature here on Seeking Alpha. So let's see, we got Stochastics, RSI, Wave Trend. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening. Thank you all for being here. This is great. So the first thing I want to point out, there's a lot of functionality here. There's everything from indicators. You can draw trend lines. You can draw Fibonacci ratios. You can draw Elliott waves if you're into that. And it actually saves all of your drawings and your charting to your account. But also you have the ability to save it as a view here as well if you click on the views indicator right there. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to see if we can go ahead and click on this full screen button here right at the bottom. And hopefully this expands. There we go. Now we can get directly into the advanced charting space. And actually, if you just scroll your wheel down, you obviously get the zoom out feature, which is amazing. I can see what's going on with the chart here a little bit better. So first things to note, let's start here in the top right-hand corner. There is a settings gear icon. If you want to click on that, if you're into log scale, if you're trying to invert the charts for whatever feature, maybe that helps you with your technical analysis, you can do that here. Now, I will go ahead and take a quick moment to say, we don't always encourage technical analysis. Obviously, if it fits into your trading strategy, your investing strategy, people see it for different things. So it's definitely your world. We're just trying to provide you all the tools that go along with your portfolio or your trading strategy, investing strategy here at Seeking Alpha. So jumping back in here, indicators. If you click down here on indicators, you will see a full list of indicators all across the board. So I saw RSI in the chat. We'll go ahead and throw that on the chart and you'll see it pop here in the lower section. We had somebody say anchored VWAP. We can do that as well. Typically with an anchor VWAP, you want to find somewhere like maybe a peak up here when there was a trend change, it looks like. Go ahead and click on that, and it will go ahead and put your anchor VWAP on the chart for you. Let's see, what else did we have? I think we saw a MACD in the chat. Yeah, MACD. The momentum indicator on there. I know it's a indicator that Katie Stockton, a good friend of mine, likes to use a lot across her work. So interesting thing here with the anchored VWAP, you see how the price action. So maybe it's speculative, maybe there's something to this, right? But we like to focus on a lot of fundamentals, and actually the quant system here at Seeking Alpha focuses on fundamentals. But obviously we know that this is something that's very important to a lot of you. Let's go ahead and throw on the clouds, which was also mentioned earlier, right? Now we can start to get in. Now we got a lot of things going on here on the chart. And I'm like, well, maybe I want to clean it up a little bit. So all I have to do that is just right click and delete study. So it's really nice functionality. It's very simple, very intuitive. I can zoom in, zoom out, see what's going on. If I want to change some settings, I can always right click, edit settings. Say you want to increase the period length on the RSI, maybe smooth it out a little bit. You can do that here. And then also change your overbought and oversold. I know not everybody agrees with the 80-20. These are just default recommended settings, of course. Same thing with MACD. All right, let me jump over here in the chat, see what else we might have. Oh, volume profile. That is a good one. We do have that one as well. Scroll on down here to the bottom and click on volume profile. You'll see it added there to the right side of the chart. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the clouds off here, delete that, kind of clean it up a little bit. Now, you'll notice as I zoom out, the volume charges adapt in real time based off of the data you're looking at on the chart. How cool is that? That is really, really nice. You'll see the gap here. So some people like to watch these on the volume profile, right? So if price gets that pull back to that area, that's typically one of those areas where you might see a little speed up of action, a price action, because there's not as what's perceived as support right there in that area. So something to keep in mind. All right, let's see. Moving on, time length, 1 day, 1 week, 1 month. There's also at the bottom time ranges that are default as well. So, you know, the old saying, when in doubt, zoom out, right? If you're ever in doubt with what's going on, zoom out. And I mean, the interesting thing here is this is a strong buy from the quant system, but for me, looks a little bit like a downtrend. So actually, I'm going to take a second. Let's go to a different symbol now that we looked at this one. Somebody in the chat here, give me a stock that you'd like for us to pull up. Let me go ahead and just whichever one comes to mind, throw it down. Hims and Hers Health. That's the first one that came in right here. All right, Hims and Hers Health. Let's take a quick look on the chart here as well. Interesting. Quant has a hold, Wall Street's a hold. Seeking Alpha analysts are actually a buy, and pretty heavily as well, I might add. 10 analysts in the last 30 days have written analysis on Hims, and if you ever want to read that, you can come over here to the summary page. It's all right here. But yeah, notable. Thanks for bringing this one up. Let's go back into the advanced charting section. So volume profile. So we're on the 1 month view. Remember how I said this carries over to your account. So whatever you do on one symbol page for one ticker, it carries over to the next page. So that is beautiful functionality, something that I definitely requested from day one, working with the product team here, wanted to make sure we had that. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump back into a daily view here. Seems like we had a nice little pop. I think that may have been an earnings pop, if I remember correctly. Very volatile stock this one is. It's kind of moving with the market news of, you know, what is Amazon doing in healthcare? What are they doing? And what's going on with GLP-1s and everything else, right? So they're definitely caught up in the middle of everything. Actually, I know a lot of investors who are very excited about this stock. But so let's go ahead and make this full screen again so we can get into it. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the RSI as well as we'll leave MACD on there for now. So next part of this functionality is over here in the top left-hand bar. Let's look at this, okay? So the first thing is I can always add a comparison. If I want to add other stocks to this, you know, I mentioned Amazon earlier, but that's not a great comparison, mainly because Amazon does so many things and Hims and Hers are focused just on this. So actually, for this stock specifically, we'll hold off on adding another symbol. But if you ever do want to add additional stocks to a chart to compare them side by side, you can do that as well. So now there's a drawing icon. We'll get into drawing in a second. I want to go ahead and move over to the crosshair icon, kind of show you. Just click on that anytime you want to kind of get a crosshair on your chart here. That way you can see the date directly at the bottom. You can kind of hover and see what kind of price level it is on the right-hand side. And if you ever want to, you can also show the heads-up display here, which adds this box at the top, gives you the exact value. So open, high, low, close, price, volume for the day. Something that people like to look at. And then, like I said, you can also turn it off. So if you don't want it on, hide it. And then we also have the info. So if you click the info button, same sort of scenario, same data, adds a little bit more, right? You'll see the MACD data on there as well. And you can also not show the tooltip or show the show the dynamic call out. So just another way to look at the chart as well. Kind of shows you the volume in it a little bit of a different way. So I can see here volume 158 million, 152 million here, kind of a lighter day here, 39 million. So really just different ways to analyze some of the high level data. Man, you guys are popping off in the chart, the chat. I love it. Let me just do a quick look here and we'll keep on going. Great. All right, and then you also have table view. So if anybody wants to do this, you for whatever reason, right? Table view gives you the values. Maybe you don't want to look at the charts, you just want to see the actual numbers. That's here as well. You can copy, you can download, you can show additional columns if you want to. But I know most people are here for charting. So let's get back to the charts. So Hims and Hers Health. Let's go into drawing. Now, this is where charting is in the eye of the beholder, if you will, the captain of the ship as we draw lines on our charts. And there's a lot of functionality here. So the first thing is, very basics, drawing a trend line. So trend line, maybe we'll zoom out here because when in doubt, zoom out. We'll try to find maybe a recent low. Looks like there's one here. And then maybe we can see, okay, there's like a little bit of a support line there. Maybe I also want to draw, there's the ability to do a horizontal line. If I see a little bit area, there's an area here that kind of looks like maybe it's, a support level or resistance level, depending on where the price action is. So you can leave those on there. And then let's see, somebody said Fibonacci retracements. So we can also do that. I'm going to zoom in for this one. So if we do a Fibonacci retracement, right, the golden ratio of science and life, and somehow it works in the markets and goes into Elliott wave analysis, which I know some of you care about because I've seen you on the webinars where we've also done conversations with some of our investing group leaders about Elliott wave. I know there's a lot of love for that indicator and that trading strategy. So drawing the Fibonacci ratios here, I can just simply click at the top of the highest candle, come down to what seems to be the more local low support. And well, would you look at that? Look where price action is today. You're right there back to that 61.8% Fibonacci ratio already. Wild. Now, I'm not saying it works every time, obviously, but something that is very peculiar. It might help you with your Elliott wave drawings. So keep that in mind. All right, let's see. Where did I click to find the drawing of the technicals? It's up here in the top left-hand corner. This is the drawing tool. Or if you want the indicators, that would be in the top right-hand corner up here. Say you want to take them off, you can either right-click or you can just simply come up here, click on indicators, and click that X as well. And I can clear all if I need to. All right, let's see. Is this based on TradingView? No, this is not TradingView. I believe Seeking Alpha used to utilize TradingView. This is a new charting system here at Seeking Alpha, which is why we wanted to highlight it for you today. Man, a lot of tickers here. So let's go ahead and go off to another ticker. So I'm seeing Palantir. I know a lot of people have eyes on this one. Let's check out this chart real quick. So if I click on it, obviously I removed all my indicators, but if I wanted to say add, let's add a moving average, right? Most people like to start, obviously it'll give you the 50 moving average, but you can also have the ability to say you want the 50. Actually, let's leave this one as 50. I want to show you as well. Say you want to add multiple of them. So let's go ahead and add another one. Moving average, and we'll throw on, the 100-day. We can make it a different color, say make that one green. And then let's do another one for the 200-day. And we'll go ahead and just make it blue. Click done. Let me go ahead and full screen here. Actually, let me show you this. So there's the moving averages for Palantir. Just to make sure to drive the point home, let me just pull up another one here. I see Micron was mentioned in the chat here. So if I pull it up, go to my advanced charting page, there you have moving averages, transfer over from ticker page to ticker page so that you can always simply, boom, get that look. See the quant is a hold on the stock. Wall Street's a strong buy, Seeking Alpha analysts are a buy. But right here, I can see that right now, price action is actually under the 200-day moving average. And I don't know about you, but I always was told nothing good ever happens underneath the 200-day. So something to keep in mind there. All right, let's go back to Palantir. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and actually add that volume profile back on as well. And then scroll down a little bit here. There it is. Somebody else said, let's look at Keltner channels. And so let's go look at more of a intraday move. Why don't we? Let's get really granular. I know some traders like the 10-minute. So as we get in here, Keltner channel, it's not really an outsized move so far in regards to volatility. But also, do you guys remember there's a guy that really loved Bollinger Bands and Keltner channels together? John, I think his name was. A lot of people knew about him. I think he's still around as well. So you can always overload those together. If you want to have different colors, you can do that as well, right? Everything is mainly black and white, but we can always change those if we want. And you can get it really dialed in. Getting a little much, so let's go ahead and take these off. There we go. Back to the simple basics. All right, let me go ahead and full screen this. And let's zoom out. I also do want to mention there are different types of charts. So there's candles, there's line charts, different types of bar charts, monkey charts. All of that is in this functionality as well. But I'm going to go back to this drawing over here. Let's see here. The chat keeps on going. Give me 1 second. There are a lot of questions. So the candlestick display is typically at the top of the toolbar right here. You don't really see the icon for right now. I need to reset and refresh my page. Maybe this will work. But typically it's right there at the top. You'll see my mouse actually. There it is. So if you click on the candles here, then you can actually see all the different chart options. So if you want the bar chart, you can do that. If you want the line chart, you can also do that. The mountain chart, which is one of Seeking Alpha's kind of traditional looking charts. This used to be a mountain chart. Looks like they got off the mountain, but and then yeah. So let's go back to the candle chart because that's kind of what I think most people are familiar with. All right, charting function. Steve, the charting function is on every symbol page here on Seeking Alpha. So no matter where you go, let's go to, we can even do an ETF, shall we? This is something that like people like to keep an eye on, of course. So if you go to SPY, the spiders, the S&P 500, which is having quite the day off that trade deal, right? But we can have the charts here. We can go ahead and go out to the 1 month view. Here's our 50-day, 100-day, 200-day simple moving average that we have carry over from each chart, the volume profile. And as I zoom in, obviously it'll adapt. And then let's go down to the daily. So here we are on the daily. Now this one might be interesting. So let's go ahead and draw a fib projection. If we take the recent high from February down, now this is the what if scenario, right? So fib projections are a little bit different. If the market decides to pull back, say for whatever reason today was a top, a near-term local top, then you could get some of the levels here that you would be looking for the projections to the downside. Now, if we do the opposite, where is it? Fib retracements. So February 21st was the day where we all saw the unclench happen. And then draw. So where are we today? We are back to around that 61.8 level right now. So something to keep an eye on from the Fibonacci retracement sort of drawing here on the spiders. All right, so the pink bars, what do those represent on the side? That is the volume profile. So especially, even if we want to get down into today's, we can see the volume of where people have been buying, selling today. That is the volume profile, keeps track of what volume was traded at what price level. Can I add the anchored VWAP and linear regression channel? So let me go ahead and let's pop out. I'm gonna go ahead and go to indicators. I'm gonna remove some of these. We're gonna throw the anchored VWAP back on. And I'm gonna go ahead and click see if I can get close to the top over here. And see where we're at. So February 19th looks like it was. So there you go, anchored VWAP. And now I did read the book on anchored VWAP at one point in time. I do remember that it said something along the lines of if it's below the anchored VWAP, the bears are in control, and if it's above, the bulls are in control. So that's why a lot of people seem to keep an eye on it. And then what was the other one? The linear regression channel. Linear regression. I don't see channel. I see forecast, intercept, R2, and slope. Maybe it's one of those. Click R2, maybe. Maybe that's one you're looking for. I'm not really familiar with that one. Interesting. Can I use scripts? We do not have functionality open for scripts right now. I will also mention as well, we did get a lot of feedback, and the product team is actually working on trying to get the corporate actions that used to be on our advanced charting through TradingView, something like the dividends and earnings and things like that. They are working diligently to get those pulled back in here on the charts for the various companies as well. So let's go ahead and look at NVIDIA. I saw that one pop up. On advanced here. And do want to mention as well, somebody just asked if you can do the Heiken Ashi chart as well. Yes, those are at the bottom here. So obviously you're just going to change your view. You're going to scroll on down to the aggregated types and just go ahead and click on that. And that functionality of that style is there for you as well. Great question. I only see the 1 day, 1 week, and 1 month. Okay, let's mention that. So when you're on the charting, if you want to go to the 1 year time frame, great question, by the way, 1 year time frame, 5 year time frame, or all, that will actually be here at the bottom of the chart where you'll see it at the bottom. So 1 day, 5 day, 1 month. This is just easy clickable reference points. So if you want to scale back for all, if you were lucky enough to buy NVIDIA back way back in the early 2000s, congratulations for you. I think we're all jealous, but that is at the bottom of the chart. Excellent question. I will mention quickly as well, if you want to learn the keyboard shortcuts, those are all here. So if you click this little keyboard icon, they do have keyboard shortcuts to help you stay maybe within your charting mode without having to click a bunch of buttons all around. So I know the big ones obviously would be something like an arrow. If you're trying to highlight something, just Alt-A, I want to draw an arrow. Take a look at that, everybody. That's the area I'm talking about. So you have that functionality here as well. When it comes to indicators and studies, this is pretty cool. So say you have the studies that you like to use all the time as you're going through and say volume, right? I want to continue to, I'm pretty much always going to use the volume profile. Come over here, click the little star. That'll favorite it for you. Anchor VWAP, volume profile. So there's the normal VWAP if people want to use that. Averages and bands, we have them all here. So somebody, I think I said Bollinger Bands earlier, you can favorite all of these. And that way, when you come to your studies of your indicators, you just click on favorites and they're all right here and you can easily click and add them. So if you want the most popular studies, that is also listed here. As I mentioned, MACD is very popular. The moving averages are there, RSI is there, stochastics, a lot of cool indicators involved in here. How do you pop the chart out to get to a full screen? Right here on the chart, there's a zoom out and a zoom in button, as well as a full screen button. So if you click that, it'll take you into the entire charting environment. I personally love this view as well. Kind of just lets me get in, start drawing my trend lines, measure it all out, the whole, like, also if you want to detach the toolbar over here for the drawings and move it around, you can as well. All you're going to do is click on the little icon right here and you can dock it back if you ever need to do that. If you want to draw a channel, say you find something that's trading in a nice little channel, you can go ahead and draw and extend your channel to the upside. And say you want to click on settings, I want to enable my range selector here, and that gives me the functionality here at the bottom to adjust my time range, specifically in this area. So as I want to hone in this area that I just drew this channel, I can do that. And it just helps with me maneuver that. But you can also take that off if you don't want it. Can you save multiple views? Absolutely. So that's what I was highlighting here. So if I want to, I can just go ahead and click a save view here, say view number 1. And then say I want to, let's switch it up. That's those indicators. Let's add on some different indicators here. So that's vol profile and MACD. Let's add Bollinger Bands and an anchored VWAP. Scale out here. So from one of these lows, this looks like an interesting low down here. Here we go. And then, see, I want to go ahead and get rid of the channels here. Let's add another anchored VWAP from one of the most recent highs. You can add even another anchored VWAP from let's see here. If I was going to add another one, so that's from a bottom there. So another bottom here. All right, so it looks like there's going to be a little support, right? And we might be coming up to some resistance from one of these uppers pullbacks, just mainly from an anchored VWAP standpoint. So you can put as many as you want on there. And then of course I can save this as, you know, anchored VWAP. And then I can simply switch between my views. So, and you can save, as far as I'm aware, you can save as many views as you want. And yes, that is where we go back to. The views are saved to your account here on Seeking Alpha Premium. They carry over, as I mentioned time and time again. Let's just go look at one of the top stocks today. What's the top stock? Heritage Insurance Holdings, HRTG. So if I come over here, click on Advanced, and then refresh the page there, Advanced, click on my views. Let's go ahead and go to view 1, and it can easily pop up on whatever page you go to. So as I mentioned, really cool functionality, making sure that we can just go through, look at stocks quickly, find new ideas, obviously look at the quant system, evaluate the fundamentals of the company, check out the valuation and everything, and then dive in deeper to the technicals and see how it looks from a technical perspective. Yes, there will be a replay. And if you're watching the replay, thank you for being here. Do you have Fibonacci time extensions? Yes, we do as well. As I mentioned, tons of functionality in here. So let me just go ahead and let's pull up a new stock. There are a lot of stocks mentioned in here today. So Tesla. Everybody's darling Tesla. All right, advanced. Let's go full screen. Let's get rid of these indicators. Clean up the chart a little bit. And you'll see the most recent price action here on the right-hand side. And also in the top left, it gives you what the stock has done. So go back to our drawing tools here. And let me zoom in a little bit. We'll use this one right here. We won't use the most recent. But Fibonacci time retracement, there is the Fibonacci time zone right here. So you're going to start with your first time, go down to your pullback, and you get your Fibonacci time retracements, which actually today looks to be number 3 on that. So I don't know if that means something. I'm not really versed on Fibonacci time retracements, but I do know we have them. So there you go. All right. How can you compare different tickers with multiple indicators? Let's go ahead. Tesla's a good one. So let's add Toyota. Say done. All right, so you'll see down here at the bottom. And now you'll also notice here, I want to point this out. So when we added the additional stock to the chart, it actually switches over to a percentage y-axis, right? We want to make sure we're looking at what have these two stock prices done since the same period of time compared to each other. So as you'll see here, one only up 177%, Tesla obviously, I mean off this time frame, right? So this goes back to a little bit before 2011, if you see down here in the bottom left-hand corner. So as we zoom in, it'll obviously change. So even if you want to go, all right, let's say year to date, simply click on that. It looks like Tesla's taking a beating. And Toyota is kind of maintained, down 3% on the year. So that is how you add multiple stocks. Let's see. Do you have an automatic Elliott waves indicator? So I'm not so sure it's automatic, but I did see earlier. Let me see if I can find it again. Elliott wave. So down here, if you scroll down on the drawbar functionality here, there is Elliott wave right next to the Gann fan, which I know other people use as well, time cycle. So if you click Elliott wave, now I'm not the best. Actually, let's do this first. Let's get rid of Toyota and focus back on Tesla again. And let's go ahead and remove. All right. So I'm in Elliott here. We'll right click and remove that as well. So we're in Elliott wave right now. So I have it selected, and you'll see this functionality pops up at the top of the chart. So you can say your corrective, ABC, WXY, if you need that functionality, the impulse, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you have that ABC pullback. I know a little bit, but not too much, right? So let's go ahead and start from the bottom. Let's say back here, after 2020, it looks like we have the COVID hit. That's probably what that is. Yeah, going into April. So let's say it starts there. And let's say the first move was to, I don't know, maybe it was to, is there any little pullback? Yeah, say right there. Then we had a little pullback here, and then we had a massive third wave, and then we saw the fourth wave pullback, and then you saw the completion of the fifth wave. Now, I don't know if that's actually right? Don't take these charts. It's a big disclaimer. But you'll see the functionality is how it helps you draw this right here. So A, B, and I don't know, maybe that's C, right? There's your Elliott wave. Now, is that right? I don't know, but we do have that functionality. So hopefully that helps you. All right, let's see here. Is charting on Premium? Yes, this is a part of Premium and Pro as the subscription. So if, obviously this is just one tool of many, especially like newer tools like Analyze with AI, which is a really new cool feature. If you haven't tried it already, it's really the best way to think about it is like, say you go to the stock screeners and you find a new stock and you're like, I don't know what this one is. Well, you go there, you click on Analyze with AI, and instantly you get this virtual analyst report that brings in not only the quant system ratings, gives you the description of the companies, competitors to the company, and its unique value that helps set it apart as a company. You have the overall 5 factor grades of the quant system. It even breaks down what metrics specifically are great or something that you should flag in case you need to tread with caution. And then if you scroll down, also the positives and the concerns raised by analysts here on Seeking Alpha. It takes that from some of the most recent analysis. The last thing to mention about the virtual analyst report is that this will tell you up here in the top right-hand corner when it was generated. It doesn't generate every single day. Like the quant system does update every single day. The virtual analyst report usually only updates when there's sizable changes within the stock. So whether it's from the quant system or some major news hits or maybe a short report comes out or something like that, there's internal factors as to when new reports are generated. So that's just one functionality. Premium also has, let's see, let me go here to the home screen. I want to show you one other one. So Shopify reported earnings today. We also have a new AI feature called Earning Call Insights. So what this does is it takes the earning calls that these companies have and it provides a summary. But the other coolest thing about it is it compares this earnings call to the earnings call from last quarter. And it looks at things like, what was the tone of management? Did things change? Was there any worries? Did they scale back on a promise that they said that was coming, right? So for one instance, one that I saw recently was Delta Airlines. They changed their entire approach this last earnings call. They went from, 2025 is going to be a hit year for us to we don't know if we can fill main cabin on airline flights. And all of that can be easily summarized here within the earning call insights. So I wanted to mention that. But yes, all of this is included with Seeking Alpha Premium. All right. We've covered a lot today. I highly encourage everyone to just kind of jump in. If you want to where's top growth stocks? There it is. Top growth stocks. Maybe, as we say in every webinar, this is the opportunity of the market. We've seen the pullback this year. This is where you should have your shopping list ready for these great companies. Let the quant system help you. BYD Company Limited, Toyota's always, I feel like always up here. They've crushed it in recent years, but could jump in, look at the fundamentals of the company, jump into the charting feature here. I mean, really robust functionality. I hope you all witnessed that as well. If you have any questions about the charting feature or something doesn't work for you well, or you think there's an indicator missing or anything else like that, please reach out to our team. Subscriptions@seekingalpha.com. We're here to help you. We want to see you use this to the best of your ability to help with your strategy. And yeah, I think let's go ahead and wrap it up there. But everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for watching the replay. If you're here watching the replay, hopefully I shed a little bit of light and hopefully you get a lot of great use out of this. But that's going to go ahead and, yep, you're welcome, everybody. Can you design your own screens? Not right now. I will say that, not right now. But everyone, thank you for joining me today. I hope you have a great rest of the week and be careful out there in those markets. All right, I'll see you in the next webinar.